There is one of you split into two. You, the human, aka your tool or vessel, and your source, aka your soul or spirit. There is a dialogue going on between you and your source. The human, in its experiential form, is communicating openly with your source in its emotional form. You are working together, one doing, the human, and one feeling, the source. Your human tool is acting as an experiencer of life, and the source receives that content and responds through emotions. Many of you think the human is generating the emotions, when in actuality, your higher self is guiding you by sending emotional responses to your perceptions of your experiences. The human receives those responses and then chooses whether it will follow the guidance or remain in the emotion of their perception. You either become the human and are lodged in the experience, which creates suffering, or you choose to move from it in your higher perspective and live a life of joy. The human is a feeling form. It experiences pain and pleasure and has needs. The source funds the human. It guides the human by making it feel good when it's headed in a direction that it perceives will be to its liking, and making it feel terrible when it heads in a direction it perceives it won't like. The human experiences and feels through all its senses. Then it decides by what it has felt whether it will embody the human in the experience it felt, or whether it will embody its source in the remembrance of who it is, what it is, and why it came. As you embody your source, you choose. You choose in your free will, knowing that there is a lesson that leads to betterment. This is the master, the one who remembers who they are, what they are, and why they have come. They don't become the emotions the human is feeling. They simply decide that they are the operator of the game piece, and they are going to use it in a way that they will win. They win through alignment, which is the understanding that all energy is being transmuted to the highest level of love, and they decide that they, as a human tool, have this ability. They, as a human, can see every experience and something they have to gain, and in this way, they become the winner. Therein lies the greatest challenge for a human. They constantly think that those involved in their experiences are the problem, or the things that justify their negativity. They were rude. They were mean. They hurt me. All the while, they are the ones who have called to themselves every single experience they are having. So to figure out your communication between you and you, meaning you and your source, you have to know that that is what it is. All emotion is for you, about you, and about the way you are choosing to perceive. In order to get desired results in your life, you must perceive what there is in every exchange you have. How am I thinking about this situation? And how am I feeling as I am doing it? If I am not feeling good, I am choosing to miss my teaching and to blame the one in front of me. The human part of you has free will, and the source does not tell it what to eat, where, or do. The source simply responds to what the human has chosen to do through emotional indicators, which are based upon both your life plan and the free will choice you have made in past lives and are making in this life. We don't want to disappoint you when it comes to your human tool, but most of you give it more credit than it deserves. It is a wonderful tool for feeling, experiencing, and expanding, to be sure. But the value you put in the human is far greater than what it should be, especially in comparison to the part of you most humans don't have an understanding of, the source. Now we realize that humans are on the physical plane, and there are mouths to feed, shelters to buy, and things you must do to survive. However, while you are doing that, it doesn't mean you can't desire something beyond it or create something else. You absolutely can. But you cannot do it from a place of hatred or dislike of where you are. If you do, you become stuck because the source is perceiving you exactly as you are feeling. It doesn't matter who you think has caused it. It is one thing, and that one thing is you. It is your emanation it receives. So the idea of justification becomes self-defeating. It can never serve you. You feel, you get. Your source wants to remind your human to think positively, but your human gets confused by emotional responses from your source. How you feel carries a resonance, a signal, a rate of vibration, which has an attractive quality to it. Your preferences based on those feelings help you choose what you want more of or less of. The emotional charges coming from your source are there to guide you to move closer to or further from how you are perceiving. All emotions carry a charge and creative value. Having any emotion, whether you deem it negative or positive, has creative potential, provided you don't attach to it. Why do you send the same signal by continuing to be justified in your emotions? Know that you have, in all that is, become the highest potential of the energy you release. There is never a need to keep sending the same signal. The desire to do that comes from the need to be right or justified in your belief that someone else is responsible for how you feel. The universe feels how you feel about everything, and it returns on that feeling. So if you are justifying a negative feeling, it's futile. You will only receive back the negativity you are justifying. As you learn to feel and release, everything you feel can benefit you, as long as you don't become the negative experience and hold onto it. In order to be able to create, your source must have freedom, which means you have to have total accountability and responsibility. Because as soon as you take that responsibility, you take power over that situation and release yourself from hatred and dislike. This means you benefit from your experiences and do not become victimized by them. You choose to grow from them and stop blaming the messengers for mirroring back to you what is within you. You are no longer giving any cognitive energy to it. In your recognition of this creation, you're choosing to align to it and will now receive it in form. Self-love means loving yourself for having experiences. You are not a human. You are a God in human form. From this perspective, you can choose to learn from your human experiences and instead attach to your source. This deliberate intent is your key to yourself. You are limitless. You are an experiencer, an expansion seeker, and the source some call God. What you have viewed in your upbringing, your lineage, and the environment you have encompassed can limit you if you choose to become your experiences instead of picking and choosing how you will feel about them. But there is nothing higher than, better than, or more worthy than you. Once you can adopt this understanding, you can put away your fears, doubts, worries, and false beliefs of the limitations you have placed upon yourself. One of the reasons you have both a lineage and present-day experiences is so that you can choose to expand yourself as your source perceives, rather than how your human, or past humans, have perceived. You can actively choose to overcome past and present experiences and become the higher aspects of them and pass on a new legacy that your future lineage can take with them. Many humans have viewed defeat, people who have failed, and they have decided to agree with what they see. This limits them in what they are. There is nothing a human cannot call to themselves except for what they decide they can hold, perceive, or believe based upon what they have had exposure to. It takes a great amount of study and will to open oneself up to the new ideas we are presenting in this book. But you are limitless in what you can learn and what you can obtain in your life. When we say you are limitless, we want you to think about how many ways belief-based expansion has happened to you. You may not have noticed at the time. You may not have realized you agreed with the things you were seeing, and yet, looking back, you understand you did, and that belief is what caused the expansion. Put another way, your beliefs are causing manifestation in your life, both knowingly and unknowingly. This is what we mean when we say you are an experiencer. You have come here as a human to experience, and then draw from those experiences to develop your own set of perceptions and beliefs so you can create upon the earth. The freedom to create. In order to create, you must have freedom, meaning total accountability and responsibility. As soon as you take that responsibility, you take power over that situation, which allows you to choose how you will feel based upon the lesson you have gotten from it. When you choose the alignment or navigate through the experience until you feel good, you will align to your Creator and to what you have created through that experience. But many of you have decided to follow what the masses believe and have given up your sovereignty, aka control over your life, to become robots. You have become believers of believers and fearful that something outside yourself has power over you. Let us reassure you, you are the power of you. Too many of you decide to give your power away in your agreement to what others fear. Don't do it. Live the beautiful, peaceful, wonderful lives that you can create for yourselves. When you look into the mirror and love what you see and feel, you are seeing yourself as your source sees you. So many of you give up your choices, go along with the masses, and wonder why you don't feel good and don't have the life you had hoped for. You've been trained to please others and use their reflection of you as your truth. This is mostly fear-based. Take down the walls you have placed around yourself by inadvertently thinking your emotions are your truth. Emotions do nothing more than reveal a choice, which produces your authentic truth. Everyone is experiencing, perceiving, and forming beliefs based on those experiences and perceptions. The source flows through all things, but it can only flow to the degree you allow it to. It has to recognize itself as itself, which it does by being the same. You have to emanate back the match to what your source's emanation is: love. When you become the human, You become the density of your reality, and your source can't flow through or reach you. This is separation and reveals itself in negativity. Now you understand why you are negative. You have separated yourself from your positive source. You're consumed by your experience and have become it. You have come to Earth to express you are a God in human form, not to become the human form. The positive source is you and all that is. You are funding your tool. You're human. When you separate yourself in your negativity, condemnation, shamefulness, and judgment, you lower your vibratory level to a degree that your higher self can no longer connect to. Now you are on the human plane in a lower level of consciousness, which is dense and where negativity is plentiful. The only way you can rise out of this negative space is to have a connection with the high part of yourself which vibrates with the high energy of love. Sometimes you may feel like you can't connect or that you are lost in your experiences. When this happens, don't forget to call out to your source and ask it to join you. This is an option that many of you forget. In your recognition of who you are, what you are, and why you are here, there is alignment, and help is always available if you can't find that alignment. You simply have to ask. When you find yourself surrounded by negativity, at first you may notice it and think that you need to avoid it so that you don't get sucked into it. But as you grow in your understanding, you will learn that there is nothing to avoid when you are not creating something negative. In other words, the negativity wouldn't be there unless you were already a match to it. Look inside yourself with love and compassion and say, I love my human for letting me know I have somehow attracted something to myself that I do not want. Now I can move away from it, not in condemnation, but in the recognition I have received the message I needed to get. Look at what you are attracting to yourself and examine why. If you look at your life and honestly notice what you have agreed to in mass consciousness, you will begin to see how it has infected your perception of the world. What you believe and have consciously agreed to is what the universe personally responds to. Do you wish for the universe to respond to someone else's perceptions? Or would you prefer the universe to respond to your own? Start noticing, start questioning, and start creating the universe you personally choose. You are your own universe. To help you understand there are two of you, think about it like this. Almost everyone talks to themselves. Whether we scold ourselves during a bad shot at golf or tennis, or when we push ourselves to get a project done, we all can think of an incident where we've talked to ourselves. If we notice, it is positive reinforcement of what we want. It is the human doing something the higher self wants. However, some people scold themselves very harshly. That is not your higher self. It is your human judgment or perception of yourself. Encouragement, understanding, and belief are from the source part of you. We can respond in the human, or we can respond as the source. You are a universe all of your own, and a contributor to all that is. Your universe is responding to and interacting with all that is. You are a part of an attraction-based, intricate system responding to you in every now moment you are in. The universe is responding and interacting with all that is based upon what you perceive in your masses, as well as exclusively with you in your sovereignty. Where your focus is will determine what you have access to. If you focus individually for you and do not look out into the masses, then you are creating your personal universe. If you are constantly looking outside of yourself and adding the masses' opinions, ideas, and beliefs to your universe, you allow the masses to create within your experience. What you attract is attracting you. When a human finds themselves experiencing something not to their liking, they revert back to victimization and justification. They do not want to accept how they have attracted this unlikable thing. To be fair, the detailed way the universe links people, situations, and circumstances to each other can vary greatly, but what never varies is the link to how you feel. Say you experience a theft. There are a variety of ways you could experience theft that could attract it to you. You could be in lack. You could believe you're too smart to be tricked. You could despise thieves. You could worry about protecting yourself. All of these feelings will result in attracting a thief to you. We would advise you, if you do experience something that you unknowingly attracted to yourself, try not to move to blame, anger, and despair, because these emotions, when untethered, will also attract responses that you are not going to like. Why do you humans have such a hard time with acceptance? Because when you are in your physical form, you are faced with all of your senses, what you're seeing and feeling. There are so many inputs overwhelming you in this form, it can be hard to separate yourself from what you have deemed to be your reality. It is difficult to let go of either and perceive differently. This is why many humans choose victimization or blaming, because the senses make it very difficult to accept responsibility. They become the emotions of the human instead of responding to the source and knowing it sent the emotions because of separation. When you see something in a form you don't prefer, it is difficult to let go of it and perceive differently. When a human becomes its experiences, though, it blames the experience or those that are a part of it instead of recognizing it is choosing to view it in a way that separates it from the higher self. It's easy to get caught up in your emotions and the manifestation of whatever has occurred that is unfavorable. Unconsciously, you decide it's easier to believe life is random and that you're a victim, rather than the idea that you've played a part in manifesting it. When something enters your universe and takes form, know you've somehow created it. We like to tell humans to drop the bags. Don't deny the negative experience, condemn it, or blame yourself for it. Drop the experience and decide to start creating what you really want. Accept what the experience is teaching. Know you're the creator of it. Be accountable and consciously move yourself where you prefer. Don't wallow in the negative experience or try to justify it. Understand there are only creators who create and match one another. Assert your sovereignty. We've told you many times to be more concerned with the perception of yourself rather than the perception others offer you. Why would you decide to take someone else's perception? Because they reflect back to you the false belief you hold for yourself. You are pure, positive source energy. The part of you that never dies, that is joined to your higher self, comes from the high vibratory level of love. When you become unconscious of this truth, you have the possibility of losing your vibratory level. When you come to the earth as a child, you come in your sovereignty, meaning you come with the understanding that you are God. There's nothing outside of you that's higher, better, bigger, or more powerful than you. Every single person, over the course of their lives, has adopted a false belief that others are more powerful and more capable. This is nothing more than a lie they have chosen to believe. So when we tell you that you are the source, you can't accept it. Why can't you accept it? Because you have to find something in your human form that confirms the idea that you must be perfect in order to be worthy of your source. This is a false belief. Imagine your power and own it. It's yours. You are worthy just as you are. Can you picture accepting it? You are not your life experiences, or for a better term, the result of your life experiences. You are consciousness expressing itself and experiencing that expression. Now more than ever, you are being challenged to assert your sovereignty. There is nothing more powerful than choosing the environment you want to see and not succumbing to the one being presented to you by the masses. This change has been in the making for a long time. There has been a purging of materialism and a recognition of love and authenticity. There has been a dismantling of leadership and a cry for reverence. Everything is being rearranged and taken apart. How can you expect this to be a smooth transition? You are the ones in the midst of this great time of change. We have reached the tipping point where going back is no longer an option. Trying will be intolerable. As you expand to new conscious awareness and accept that you are the source, you are love, you will become a part of the new world. You have been trained to believe your joy is dependent upon something outside of yourself, that you are not sovereign. Once you shift your perception, your vibratory level will rise, and you will gain access to the desires you have held that you have yet to see come to fruition. There is great power in your perception. Do it in your knowing and belief, and release any shred of victimization energy that has held you captive. Go forward. Go forward. Go forward. Don't stop. Don't turn around, and don't follow anyone. You are a creator. For the universe to deliver, it has to feel the vibratory connection between what you believe, what you are aligned to, and what you present. When you align to a belief in yourself, you present that energy to the universe, and the universe will deliver on it. If you are unaligned with what you are presenting, the universe cannot deliver to the false character you are portraying. So, it is for you to know yourself. What do I want to feel? Is what I want going to provide me with that feeling? Sometimes what you think you want isn't going to bring you the feeling of what you want. Instead of clinging to a specific idea, trust that the universe will bring you the feeling of what you want. Try to remain open to the possibility that things could come to you in a way other than the one you're thinking or even hoping they will. The universe sees further out than your present moment, so quite possibly, it will detect any potential changes or shifts in you that may change your perception of what you are wanting in the present moment. In some sense, it's always one step, or 10, ahead of you. You have to become what you want in order to get what you want. You cannot look to the masses to give it to you. You have to feel it and embody it, and then convey that to the universe so it can supply you with a feeling that will fill you, not one that satisfies others' desires and will leave you empty. To become what you want, you have to create what you want. You are creators. You can't ever stop being a creator. You cannot stop because every time you have a thought or a feeling, you create. It is what you do every moment of every day. There is no escaping it. Whenever you are looking at, thinking about, or doing something, you are creating because both your human and source are experiencing. You could lie in your bed all day, going nowhere, and you would still be experiencing based upon how you are feeling as you are lying there. There are two ways that creating can feel. It can feel effortless or difficult. Both will yield you a result, but how you obtain that result can make the creating process less joyful. If you choose difficult, we'll tell you why. You love a good story to tell. You love to create a character for others to view that seems unattainable. Now they value you because of your struggle, and through the eyes of others, now you can value yourself. You don't have to create through struggle. You can create through ease, but you have to recognize the choice you have. You can create your own universe, and everything about it can be designed by you from start to finish. You are the picker, the chooser, and the one who decides what to believe and what to add to the universe that is you.